For this video, I want to look at one of the common problems you get with data. You receive a data set from somewhere and it is riddled with hanging spaces. Either it's downloaded from a database or it's been received as a text document extracted from a PDF, something like this. And your data is dirty. It's got hanging spaces in it, amongst other things. Hanging spaces where we might have a heap of hidden space characters at the end of your text, and you can't necessarily see them. They're often over on the right hand side, although for this example I'm putting them on the left just so we can see them in action. The problem with them on the right hand side, you can't see them, and you'll have two text values that look the same but they aren't, because one of them is text without the space and one of them is text with the space, which Excel sees as two totally different things. So a piece of code that I've got literally goes through each cell one at a time and removes the hanging spaces. In this case, this piece of code, if the first character is a space character, it removes it. I know what you're thinking, why don't I just do Control H, find and replace, to remove all space characters? The problem is that often your text string will need space characters in amongst words within it, within numbers, etc. So we're only looking at the end characters here. So I've got this piece of code. I'm going to do a for next loop. So I'm going to loop through each cell. I call CL a cell, which is declared as a range object. I am looking at each cell in my selection, but not just my selection. If I select the whole worksheet, that's going to be a problem for my code. So what I often do is I look at only the intersect of the selection and the used range of the current worksheet. This means that if I do select too many cells, it only looks through the ones I'm interested in. I then capture the text string. I want to, as usual, work within Visual Basic. I don't want to be writing information to the spreadsheet itself too often. In actual fact, I would probably adapt this piece of code further than I already have to use an array, and I've covered that elsewhere on another video. But for now, I am assigning the value of the cell into a text string. And not just the value, I'm actually, for this example, I'm pulling in the formula. Because in some cases, if we just use the value and there was a formula in the cell, it would convert that formula to a value, which we don't necessarily want to do. I am then going to do a loop. I'm going to keep doing this as long as the left-hand character of my text string is a space. So left text string, comma 1 equals space character. And if that happens, I'm going to make my text string equal to the right-hand set of characters that are the length of the existing text string minus 1. So I'm cutting off the left-hand character each time and keep repeating until all my spaces have gone. And then I will make the cell formula equal to my starting text. So to see this in action, I want to select my set of data. I'm going to run this piece of code using F5, and it's very quickly got rid of all of the hanging spaces except for this one. We can see there's a space left here. Why is that? It's because it's a formula. So the fact I've used the formula and not the cell value has meant that the formula itself has stayed intact and all the other dirty data has been removed. For example purposes, I've used the left-hand character. In reality, it's more likely I'm going to be trying to do it with the right-hand character, and I will just adjust my code accordingly, swapping my lefts and my rights